Welcome back, everyone, to our playthrough of career mode in NASCAR Heat Evolution as we get prepared and get excited for NASCAR Heat 2, which is coming up for release on September 12th. So less than a month away at this point, and I'm getting pretty excited. I can feel the excitement building as the days get closer, and I'm looking forward to running those trucks and the Xfinity cars and running on dirt and doing all those sorts of things. But let's try to keep our mind on the task at hand, which is the career mode here in NASCAR Heat Evolution. So here we are, we're in the round of 12. We did pretty good in the original round of 16 to start the chase. We got a victory at Dover, so I think we did pretty good. However, running into the round of 12, we had three tracks, two of which I felt like were pretty good, but boy, did things change for me. So we're ready for round 12, race number 2 at Kansas. But while things might look fairly similar on the screen to you, let me assure you that behind the scenes they have been anything but. I had an extremely weird situation that I still can't totally explain happen to me very recently. After I got done recording the race at Charlotte, I was, doing everything as I normally would off camera, but a funny thing happened the next time I went to log on to record the next race, which would be the Kansas race. The game treated me as a brand new player the next time I started up, meaning it asked me, it literally treated me as if I had just downloaded the game and this was the first time that I was opening it up. It asked me which driver I wanted to choose as my sort of my driver avatar and those types of things. It greeted me as if I was a brand new racer, which I thought was pretty weird. But then when I went to career mode, it told me I didn't have a career mode. Would I like to start one? And at that point, my face just turned totally white, because that meant I had lost everything we had done for this season. It was gone. So of course I immediately got out of the game and spent time on Google, spent time on message boards trying to find, has this happened to anybody else? And is there a way I can recover the season? Well, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, I didn't have a whole lot of time to spend on it, but the time I did spend I was searching the hard drive, trying to find the save file. Once I found that, I found out it really was blank. There was nothing there other than what I had created when I had logged into the game, and it was trying to start one for me. There was just nothing there, and I knew I didn't have tons of time to spend on this, so I thought, really, I've got two choices. I can stop the series, just make a simple video letting you guys know what had happened, and we could end it here and just focus on NASCAR Heat 2. I have, recently posted a video about NASCAR Heat 2 in one of the dev diaries, so I thought, we could just focus on that type of thing. But then, just deep down, that didn't sit well with me, because I knew, for me personally, I wanted to end the season. Whether we win the championship or not is beside the point. I want to finish this thing. We have a great thing going. We've made it to the round of 12. First of all, I didn't think we were going to make it to the chase, because I sure didn't think we had a chance to win a race, and I definitely didn't think we had a chance to point our way in. So I had no hopes of really making the chase in our first season. But now that we did, and we had a great round of 16, the very beginning of the chase, we're in the round of 12, and now that we won at Charlotte in the first race of the round of 12, now we're guaranteed to go to the round of 8. There's no way I can just let that go and just say, oh, well, no big deal. So I said, okay, what other option do I have? So I decided the option I was going to have to go with was to start a brand new career, but lower the race distance down to the 2%, which is the minimum it will give you, making each race generally 5 to 10 laps, depending on the length of the track in most cases. So 5 to 10 laps, and just try to run through them as quickly as I could, and try to replicate as best I could how we got to where we are, or where we were before it got erased on me. So that's what I've done. Now, our bank account, I'm sure, looks different. The team looks the same. I literally just purchased the wind tunnel upgrade which is the next to the last one in the second column. I literally just did that after the Charlotte race. We have 160,000 in the bank of the 750 we need for the computer control. But again, the computer control really isn't going to do a whole lot for us because unless we can get some great finishes and a whole lot of money over the next few races, we're probably not going to get there before the last race. But hey, don't get me wrong. I'll take any improvement whenever I can get it. But I don't think that's something we can look forward to in order to help us make it to Homestead with a chance for the championship. But it could be what we need to put us over the top and have a chance at actually winning that championship. Wouldn't that be something? Particularly after everything that's happened. So, you know, the number of, if I look at the standings, at this point, I don't even remember how many wins we had in the last one. I've tried not to look too much at it because it was kind of depressing to think about all the time I had to put into running all these races to get us back to here. But right now we have 7 wins. Of course, that includes the Charlotte race that we just won as the first race in the round of 12. So 7 wins for the season. And with that win, we're guaranteed into the round of 8. So overall, I think things are about as close to the same as I could get them. I can tell you the wins didn't come exactly at the same tracks they did before. Bristol, I dominated. I did get a win at Martinsville. I did, you know, pretty good. I won Dover, you know, those types of things that I was able to do the first time through. But, you know, nothing's going to be exactly the same. But I am extremely happy to be where we are right now and able to make it back in some semblance of equality and parity to where we left off before it all got erased on us. So where we are now, we are ready for race number 2 of the round of 12 at Kansas. And again, the standings, we're at the top. Of course, that's because of the one race at Charlotte that we won. So we're automatically in the round of 8. So now what we're going to try to do is earn as much money as we possibly can in these next 2 races. So where are the next 2 races? Well, we know the next one is at Kansas. Then we go beyond that, we're at Talladega. Now, Talladega is going to be iffy. We've done really nothing at the plate tracks so far, and that's simply because we don't have the speed. That's where the car being down on power really, really hurts us. It's the big tracks. Like that's where not having the horsepower and the additional grip and the lower drag, that kind of thing, really affects us. So I'm not sure what we're going to have there, but I know we got something for them at Kansas. Unless things have changed and the AI have gotten a lot better since the first appearance of the season at Kansas, we got something for them at Kansas. So I'm pretty excited. I'm ready to get started. So let's head to Kansas.
Get set. The race is going green. There's the green light. All high.
All right, folks. So here we are at Kansas. We started 3rd, and we are going for the lead into turn 1. All right, now this is where they should start to pull me a little bit. No, actually, I'm pulling them. So far, so good. Here we're out to the lead. I'm going to tap A a couple of times to get the leaderboard up here. All right, we're going to see what kind of pace we got. Woo, okay. Drove it in there a little bit too deep. Into turn 3. All right, so far, so good. We got 0.3 of a second lead on Denny Hamlin. Now, we started 3rd, which, honestly, the amount we were off the pole was like literally a few hundreds. I mean, it was extremely small amount between the top 5. So there's a lot of cars that had a lot of speed. All right, let's get off the gas a little bit earlier here, see if we can get it. Oh yeah, we got it down in the corner that time. All right, wow, we are already pulling away from them. We got 7 to 0.8 of a second lead on second position. Quite frankly, I will be perfectly fine with them duking it out back there and us continuing to build a lead. I would expect those guys to have race pace with us, similar to us, but so far it is not playing out. Again, just because of how close everything was in qualifying. When you only miss the pole by a few hundredths of a second, then you know everything is tight. It's almost like you're at Bristol. All right, we continue to increase the lead. And what I have found, just like what happened at Charlotte, what you find in these races against the AI, as I've said, I feel like a broken record saying all this, and I know some of you are probably getting tired of hearing me saying it, but as long as you can get to the AI 1 or 2 or 3, a small pack, if not individual cars at a time, you can really race with them. And they will generally give you some room, and you can have some really good racing with them, some good hard racing, because they do race you hard. But if you get larger packs of them, then it is very difficult. So right now we're 1.7 seconds ahead on Denny Hamlin. But as we start to catch the back of the field, which we will before the end of this race, let's see how many laps, 14 laps to go. And I'm sure we're going to catch the back of the field before the end of this race. And as we do so, that's an opportunity for us to lose time and for Denny Hamlin to gain time. And it does not take much. All it takes is the AI getting 3 wide in front of you and blocking the path so that you don't have anywhere to go and your lead is gone. I've had it happen to me at Bristol or Martinsville, any of the short tracks. So we should be in a little bit better shape here at Kansas, but if they get 3 wide in front of me, then we're definitely in trouble. So that's another reason why I want to keep pressing hard, keep running the fastest laps I can, while at the same time, I'll admit, I'm going to move around a little bit on the track. I'm going to test some things out and see a little bit about, how does it affect the car if I drive it in a little deeper? How does it affect it if I back off a little earlier? What if I run the second groove as opposed to the bottom? Maybe a half lane off the bottom, all those types of things. Those are things that I test constantly. Part of it is, with this kind of a lead right now, I want to test out and let's just see what happens. Let's see how the car feels and how much fun we can have. So who knows, I might come down into turn 3 next time and be right up in that third groove. Who knows? Let's just have a little fun with this. I mean, we continue to pull out a big lead. So 3.6 seconds this time. Let's see what the lead is next time by, because I haven't really been paying attention to how much it's growing per lap. So 3.6 is what it was last time when we crossed the start-finish line. All right, so far it hasn't grown any at all. Oh, now there we go. Growing a little bit now.
10 laps to go.
Okay, so a few tenths, 2 or 3 tenths per lap is what we're growing right now. And as you can see, as I go into the corner, I'm not lifting very much at all. I'm coming out to about half throttle. And I'm playing around right now with when I do that. Right now I'm coming out of it a little bit early, which is good. Just as the car turns into the corner, just as the car wants to start to rotate, that's when I give it a little bit off the gas. I give it a chance to turn. Then as soon as the car has made the turn, then I'm back in it well before the center of the corner. All right, so the lead has grown to 4.5 seconds, but ahead of us you can start to see some lap traffic. So as long as they're single file, we're good. Because that should mean, whoops, not paying attention there, ran it into the outside wall a little bit. But as long as they'll stay single file and give us the high side, we should have plenty of room here. But yeah, so far so good. This race is turning out to be, we have a much quicker car compared to the AI than I thought we would. I thought we would have a much closer battle here, but so far they have nothing for us. All right, let's see what Jones does. They get a little erratic here. You can see they swing around quite a bit on the front stretch or in the D part of the oval. All right, I wasn't sure where the 34 was going.
Clear low.
All right, trying to give myself as much room to the outside as I can, just in case I need to make some evasive maneuvers. Generally, the AI hold their line pretty good, notwithstanding what they do on the front straightaway here. You can see they go high, and then they dart down low, then sometimes they come back high again.
All clear.
But yeah, running this second groove is definitely not a problem. Slows you down a little bit. Probably a tenth. But not bad at all. Especially when you're around cars like this that are much slower. We already know that we're 2 to 3 tenths a lap
5 laps to go.
quicker than those that are chasing us, our closest pursuers. Another thing that, like right there, that car, that was perfect going into the corner. Another thing that running a little higher groove does for us is you're a little bit straighter into the corner, which means you don't have to pinch the car off as much going through the corner.
Car low.
And when you don't have
All
to
clear.
do that, you can generally carry some more speed, which means that on the high side, or the higher you go on the track, you should be able to carry more speed. Not quite as good on corner entry there, but boy, this thing is coming. The middle and off the exit of the corner is very good. Could be better, but definitely not going to complain. It feels very good. There, I was able to drive it in much straighter in the middle of the track and clear those two cars with ease. So we'll go back to the bottom here in this series of corners. Let's see what kind of lap time we get here. I know we're in the 32.7s, running sort of the middle of the track, the second or third groove. There's that swerving back and
Here you
forth.
go.
Okay, so we're off, again, about a 10.
Still there. You're all clear.
All right, let's go back to the middle or the top here. In that third, maybe even fourth groove. Feels very good to run up there, though. I must admit, I kind of like running the high side anyway. So that feels really natural to me to run up there. And in this game, it feels good to run up there. Not all the games does it necessarily allow you to run up there with that kind of speed or comfort. Let's go back to the bottom. Again, it just binds the car up more to run at the bottom, but it is the faster way around. Go back to the middle of the track here. So far, so good on the lap cars. I see some guys running side by side up here.
Clear low.
Group of 4. It's a little bit larger group than I would like to see, especially when they're darting around the track like that. But luckily for us, we didn't have any more laps to run. So I'd actually gotten so into the different grooves that I forgot how many laps we had to go. All right, so we were able to win that one handily. It says speed rating of 97, but again, that doesn't make any difference to me at this particular point. We ran faster than we needed to run, and that's all that matters. So we bring home, that's 3 victories in a row. Dover, Charlotte, and now Kansas. So wow, 3 victories in a row in the chase, that's hard to beat, but it doesn't guarantee us anything more than what we had before the race. So we have to keep focused, keep our eyes on the prize, and realize that what we did here was basically we maximized our money. And here's the big payoff, the top 5, $81,000. Wow. So $236,000 total. That will definitely help out toward our next improvement. So the most important thing here is we see that advanced green arrow right next to our name, and that's really all that matters. That, and we're keeping another driver from automatically advancing by getting a victory. So it looks like at this point with only Talladega looming. And boy, how would you like to go into Talladega needing a victory in order to advance? But it looks like Denny Hamlin, Carl Edwards, Jimmy Johnson, and Casey Kane are all in danger, particularly Jimmy Johnson and Casey Kane being 13 points out. And oh, Carl Edwards is also 13 points out. Missed that. So those three drivers are quite a ways away. They're going to need a couple of drivers in the top 8 right now to have some really bad days, maybe some crashes, finish 39th and 40th for them to have a real shot at moving on. But as far as our position, we are looking great through 2 races in the round of 12, and I have no idea. Just as I said the first time, this looks like a golf tee. Really, to me, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but almost just looks like a golf tee as the reward for winning Kansas. We'll take it, whatever it is. If nothing else, we'll melt that sucker down and sell the gold if indeed that's what it's made out of. So we will take it. No trophies will be denied. All right. Yep. Love these tweets. Can anyone beat you? Yes. Yes, I love those. And yes, we can be beaten. And you're probably going to find that out at the next race. All right, so let's take a quick look at the team. Remember, that computer control is 750,000 now. We're nearly at 400,000. For all intents and purposes, we're at 400,000 right now. So we need another 350. And if we keep running like this, then particularly if we keep running in top 5s, because that's where our biggest sponsorship money comes. If I scroll over to our 4th and final secondary sponsor, you can see $81,250. So I mean, if we're finishing top 5, even if we can't quite pull out a win, then that's a huge payout for us, and definitely gets us closer to the amount we need and does so quicker. So that'll do it for this race. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned next time when we head to Talladega.